recording? Yeah, okay, we're recording. Greetings and salutations, denizens of the internet. No gameplay this time, just commentary. I've had something on my mind for quite a while when it comes to like the asymmetrical genre with like games like Dead by Daylight, VHS, last year, the newer Texas Chainsaw and games like that. And it's like a sort of balancing issue you see killing a lot of the ASIMs, and like that sort of made me have a falling out with Dead by Daylight. I don't really play it anymore because it's just like it's been the same problem they've had for like the past couple of years now. That like pretty much since its inception, because it's like the problem itself is intrinsic to the game itself, and the problem is something I describe as a invisible timer that the power roll is constantly on. Because you see this in a lot of ASIMs, like from here. I got my get my paint application up here. So like with the DB D, got the generators. Drop a generator. And like other games, like what was it? Get stuffed. They've got their own weird little objectives, like a spinny puzzle where you got to run around finding a code and all sorts of other weird stuff. Uh, Stuff. I don't need to. Yeah, but yeah, you get the idea. So there's like all these various objectives and stuff. Now, see, the problem isn't really with the objectives themselves, but more a particular subset of the player base, which are people who are like the true competitive types. The people who are going to figure out how pretty much maximize their efficiency, and that's where that sort of invisible timer comes in, because like the killer, or whatever power role they want to call it, the big bad boogeyman who has all the power in the world, you can only be in one place at once, and while you're running around trying to myrtleize one person, everyone else is being as efficient as they can usually. Like obviously, yeah, you get those games where people are just having fun and derping around and spending 15 minutes looking for a totem or other some such thing. But like a lot of the times, you just end up in that situation where it's like in Dead by Daylight, it's like every second you're chasing someone, everyone else is all split up on different gens, because that's what's the most efficient thing to do. And even get stuffed. Had the problem where it's like everyone split up on objectives. Killer could only be in one place at once, so while they're chasing one person, everyone else is working as efficiently as possible to work on their objectives. Last year fell into this issue as well, where people would learn where the objectives were and then just sort of wait in place, so they could just be like, grab one objective, ferry it, and then by the time they're done with that objective, the person waiting by the next objective can just like get a head start before the killer can even react to them grabbing the objective. Um, VHS sort of solved this problem of the invisible timer, because there is no timer per se. The timer is the survivors killing a monster and vice versa. But that particular game has its own set of problems. My biggest gripe being the slowdown. You're pretty much molasses. I just I don't even need that. I'm terrible at drawing on paint. I got nothing but a mouse and keyboard, so we're just getting giant me as I blither and blather. So yeah, where was I? Yeah, but even then, you still sort of end up in that situation where it's like it's time to arm because once one survivor in VHS is armed, they can protect and you know the others while they get their weapons. Not to mention the whole divide and conquer problem of killer can only be in one place at once, which brings us to Texas Chainsaw, as they've gone quite the interesting direction, and it's certainly going to be interesting to see how it all pans out because, like, you're already seeing those efficiency survivors just already looking for the quickest path out of the house, where it's like everyone's going to probably be jumping out that front window on the house, you know, the family house. You know, everyone's just like, yep, just run out the front window, try and get out the front exit gate before they can even turn the generator on. That sort of deal. And it's like, but what's interesting is there's multiple killers who serve for different roles and specialize in different things. So it's like you have ways of countering and locking down those speedrun routes, and you as a killer and your team as the family are like there to run interference on people trying to speed run stuff. Because like there are so many times, because like I got lucky and was able to get into the beta, and once I started learning the paths those, you know, content creator copycat wannabes were taking, because like I saw True Talent take the window path and just zoom, and I got Hitchhiker a lot, so it's like first thing I do, get the generators going, trap that window, and like clockwork every time, speed run. Oh, my leg! Aha! It's stabbing time. Oh crap! Stab, 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 stab. But yeah, like it's honestly that the whole invisible timer thing has been a problem that's plagued like almost every single asim though. Because like I said, it's like with Dead by Daylight, it's like killer can only be in one spot at once, and survivors are going to perk load up for efficiency. And, Evil Dead has that same sort of issue as well, but to a lesser degree, and it has its own problems where it's like damage creep was its problem, as like with its talent tree thing, people would just, you know, just all the damage of the world, so like any health upgrades didn't really matter because they were gonna do 9,920 trillion damage anyway. So it's like might as well just, you know, I guess chump up on this, or yeah, just get your stagger meter up so they can at least stagger you for a little bit, and then try and dump into damage so you can try and deal more damage than they deal. You know, get the 999 trillion damage hit on them before they can get the 999 trillion damage hit on you. Just swamp them in dudes as the necromancer or something like that. I don't know. It's honestly been kind of weird, just sort of like seeing how different companies and people have been trying to get that their hat in the ASIM ring, where it's like they keep trying to just do Dead by Daylight, but it's like Dead by Daylight, I honestly say, with how just stale and unfun gameplay as the killer can be at times. Like, it's fun when survivors are also wanting to have fun and not just, I just want to hold M1 on a generator while one person gets chased. sort of people where it's like the only thing they care about is just efficiency. We gotta, just get these generators done in 2.3 seconds flat, sort of deal. What's weird though is like, I'll still play something like Identity 5, which is literally just mobile Dead by Daylight with like Tim Burton-esque characters, but like I won't jump on to play the normal game mode usually. The only time I play the normal game mode is I'll play this one particular killer, the undead. He's like a kind of like Wesker. He's got this dashy thing going on, but the neatest gimmick about him is he doesn't have to hook people. You just down people and they lose a chunk of their bleed out meter. So it's just down them and go. No need to waste your goddamn time. Just be a killer. Screw having to put people on goddamn meat hooks or some stupid shit. I just want to slap people. I just want to dash around and slap people. Uh, but yeah, well that's who I play when I'm playing the normal game mode. And even that game, it's like the way they've balanced things in their game takes a little bit of the pressure off of the killer, because unlike Dead by Daylight where you have like all the time in the world to do like half a whole generator before someone loses a health state on a hook, in Identity 5 the rocket chair timer is so short, the survivors pretty much have to like drop everything if they want to get that save, cuz like they've almost balanced their game around the killer camping, and that's another reason why I quite like Undead, cuz most Identity 5 players would probably play when they're, being skilled about it, will play in a way that they can counter the heavy campers, and I don't camp. So it's just like, haha, fuck you. You thought I was gonna camp, but I'm undead. I'm just gonna, down you and go. And even then, when you're playing other killers, like I was saying before, it's like the timer for launching the rocket chair is so short, the survivors have to drop everything if they want to make that save, or make the sacrifice of losing one of their teammates to get one or two generators done, depending on like, who's on the team for the survivors. Because like one thing I will have to commend Identity 5 for is making their survivors feel like actual characters. Because yeah, Dead by Daylight sort of dropped the ball on that with its teachable system, because it essentially turns survivors into skins that they have no personality. Like when I go into a match of Dead by Daylight and I look like at a Meg, a Dwight, and a Meg and a Fang, the two Megs could have two different sets of four perks that are completely different. The Dwight could have something completely different from all of them, and any of them could have any four permutations of the ever increasing amount of perks Dead by Daylight has. So it's like you end up going into a match where it's like, should I bring, the Shattered Hope? Are they going to be using totems? It's not like I can goddamn tell. If I bring Shattered Hope, I might just be wasting a perk because they all brought like generator perks and didn't give a rat's ass about boons. Could be any number of things. Meanwhile, in Identity 5, you look at a character, you know exactly what they're going to do. You look at the priestess and be like, yeah, that bitch is going to make portals. You look at the barmaid and you're like, yeah, that bitch is going to get everyone crunk. She's going to be like, I got the booze. The booze will heal your wounded soul. Unless you're under 18. That's honestly another really cool, like I said, the survivors feel just as much as a character in Identity 5 as the killers do. Meanwhile, in Dead by Daylight, they're just kind of skins. It's whatever. literally just when I'm playing Survivor, just go screw it. I don't care. Just took the blackest, most blendiest person I could throw together, clothing wise, and called it a day because it's essentially a game of hide and seek. So why run around in goddamn bright pink? Like I see other guys wandering around in like yeah, if you're good at chase, which I'm not. Go figure. I run around like a chicken with my head cut off and get dead. I don't play Survivor. I am the murderer. But yeah, where was I going with this though? Like, even then, like outside of the main game mode, they Identity 5 has other game modes, and the one I mainly play is the tarot mode because like that invisible timer that I've barely talked about now as I've been like rambling on this 50-minute stream of consciousness is based on the skill of your uh king, because like for anyone who is uninitiated to tarot mode in Identity 5, it essentially works like this. There are two teams. Uh, each team gets 3 survivors and 1 killer. One survivor is the king, the other two are squires, and then the killer, I believe, is referred to as the knight. The point of the game is for the knight to check the other team's king. This essentially means down and put them on a rocket chair. The squires are there to essentially run interference. They get a few bonuses as squires compared to the king. They essentially get unlimited unbreakable. So it's like anytime they get down, they just get back up and keep on trucking. It's a rather fun game mode because like I was saying, the invisible timer of how fast you need to myrtleize their king is how fast the other team's knight can myrtleize your king, which is where the fun comes in, as each killer is racing to try and kill the other. Like, pretty much what I'm saying is Dead by Daylight needs more goddamn game modes. Just steal tarot mode from Identity 5 and put it in Dead by Daylight. Do it. I want tarot mode. It's like, that's the problem. It's like survivors in Dead by Daylight don't get the crazy, wondrous powers that, like, honestly, I I'm just gonna say it. Boo me all you want. I'm right. Dead by Daylight's only alive today because of the licenses. If it didn't have the licenses, nobody give a fuck. It'd just be another ASIM left by the wayside, like Evolve. Because, like, honestly, think about it for a sec. Think about the actual game. Forget all of the licenses and just think about the actual gameplay of Dead by Daylight. And very, like, you notice how, like, all sorts of other ASIMs have just died? Where it's like they try and do something similar to Dead by Daylight and then they just doesn't really work out. Nobody gives a fuck. Except for, like, Identity 5. And that's only because, like, it's on the mobile market instead. And even then, they also have, their own crossovers and licenses shenanigans. They're like, yeah, no, we're Japanese Dead by Daylight, so we're gonna cross over with anime. Want some Junji Ito stuff? Want some like anime? We're crossing like even Dead by Daylight, kind of dipped its toes into the anime with Trickster and Attack on Titan. We're never gonna get like something cool. Like, I don't know. The ASM market's goddamn weird. It's like licenses aren't even like sort of a guaranteed win for you. Like horror legends, yeah. Y'all motherfuckers probably never heard of that shit unless you like one of my old subscribers back from when I played that game. If you know about that shit, because it was like another sort of Dead by Daylight horror type game where one person was a killer and all that. And it's like you even got licenses. Like the people who made Horror Legends are now doing the Puppet Master game. And before they finished up Puppet Master, they did some DLC for their original game where they added Redo. But it's like that's all like Full Moon stuff, and Full Moon is pretty niche compared to like say Pinhead, Leatherface, and other brand name slashers. So it's like, what's the magic recipe for the perfect ASIM? Dead by Daylight seems to have found a lot of the right ingredients, but in the end, it's just like that game can just burn you out real fast playing as the killer. And like, I wouldn't be surprised if Dead by Daylight's constantly gone through the problem of just nobody wants to play killer because it feels absolutely god awful. And honestly, that's what ends up kind of killing a lot of ASIMs is they put so much focus into keeping the majority happy that nobody wants to play the power role because it doesn't feel like a power role. So it just kind of dies because all the people who want to, dunk on the killer don't have any killers to dunk on because all of the casual crowd was just like scared away. And it's like, can you really blame them? It's like, I don't want to deal with that shit. I am the casual crowd. I'm a drooling idiot. I just want to, turn my brain off, run around, and be a spooky big monster and hit people. So it's like, how does one sort of create the perfect ASIM then? And it's like, not like I haven't had my own ideas for like how one could go about doing such a thing where it's like the perfect asymmetrical game that doesn't cause the killer to have a fucking aneurysm from the survivors bullshit, and the survivors are also able to have fun without having an aneurysm from the killer's bullshit. Because like if you look at my review, like it's a bit off now because like my opinion is probably a little bit different now. But they Dead by Daylight and a lot of other ASIMs will cater to the efficiency crowd, where it's like they play in the most efficient way possible. And unfortunately, playing in the most efficiently way possible, most 90% of the time, it's not a fun way to play. It's efficient, but it's not fun. It's not fun being tunneled out of a game. It's not fun being camped. It's not fun, having to deal with infinite loops and other shenanigans. So, how do we eliminate those frustrations? And like when it came to like my own ideas for like games and stuff, because like I said, I have the game designer's mind. I just don't have the game designer's skill, or at least because like a project as large as like an ASIM, uh, you're not putting that together solo without it taking a long time and a lot of knowledge. But I guess the best place to start would be focusing on trying to keep check on that invisible timer I was talking about. Because, like, the efficiency people, yeah, they're going to get it as done as fast as possible, but the casual crowd is going to meander around and waste their time. So it's like you need to find that sweet spot, because the harder you make it for the efficiency crowd who are able to do a task in like 15 seconds flat. So it's like, if it takes them 15 seconds and you change it so it takes them 20 seconds, the casual crowd who takes a minute to do it is now going to take 2 minutes. And unfortunately for the casual crowd, 2 minutes is more than enough time for the killer to, myrtleize them all, so to say. I'm just using like straw numbers. So maybe the objective should be less, like, the killer's objective maybe should be less killing the survivors and more terrorizing them. Have the killer rewarded for doing stupid horror movie tropey things with various score events, while the survivors are, say, maybe on a hard timer of like hide from the killer for this many seconds. So it's like you have 5 minutes to survive. You're stuck in there with a killer. Well, a maddener, a dude who make you go crazy, big spooky man who does the spooky boo thing, makes you lose your mind. So, like, I guess the survivor's objective would be less escape with your life and more escape with your mind intact. With the various uh, lunatics, we'll call them. The various lunatics focusing on different aspects of madness, such as paranoia, fears, like tryptophobia, and, zoophobia, pretty much phobias. Like, like I said, less murderizing you and more scaring the shit out of you so our otherworldly entity god thing can feed on their fear. Entity feeds on emotion in general and so doesn't care about like murderizing people, but like our evil entity god is more nice. He doesn't murderize them, he just makes them go crazy. So they also join the lunatic side. It's like survivors. That'd actually be kind of cool. It's just like every survivor would have their lunatic counterpart. All so it's like, a survivor would, their lunatic counterpart would be their phobia. So it's like they, a particular person had a fear of dogs. Their lunatic form would, be an embracement of their fear. But as I said, it still falls into that idea of the the idea for the objective of the power role is less murder and hurting the survivors and more acting in a way that a slasher would, maybe. But, like, how do you keep survivors entertained? Like, entertainment. Like it could be like you can sort of regain sanity by fighting back a little bit. So it's like, throw a brick at the guy and donk him upside the head. You know, you're gonna feel a little bit better. You'd be like, yeah, screw you, Mr. Lunatic, for scaring the crap out of me. Brick upside your stupid head. Because, like, that would leave room for different avenues of lunatics and how to deal with them. Because, like, say maybe, you have a lunatic that's more focused on stealth. So it's like they're a sneaky guy who, picks people off and then, hit and runs or something like that. If you can, like, corner the guy and, like, beat him up a little bit, you might be able to, like, turn the tide for the survivor side a little bit. Meanwhile, there might be other lunatics who are a bit more punchy, so they might be able to, like, injure the uh the patients, we'll call them. I don't know. This is just hypothetical video game. This is not gonna exist. Who gives a shit? I'm just a fucking idiot. I just want a game where I can, like, go around doing stupid horror movie stuff. But you can't really do that because you have like 2 minutes before the game's just over because everyone's done the generators, which is honestly kind of why I'm excited for uh Texas Chainsaw, because the multiple killers means, well, the multiple killers and the objective are very much in the killer's hands, or the family's hands, because, like, you can lock down the routes speedrunners take, giving you time to meander around and, do stupid, silly things and mess with the survivors and just have those really cool, clippable moments. I don't know. Certainly excited for Texas. Yeah, I don't even know if I'm gonna upload this. Just a half-hour stream of consciousness, just absolute blundering insanity from yours truly. You know what? Screw it. It's my channel. I can do whatever the hell I want. Half an hour of stupid, idiotic, fucking necromancer blithers about asyms for half an hour. Hope, hope you hated it. Leave your love and hate in the comments. Do the things that appease the YouTube overlords. Most importantly, have a good one. God, should I even upload this? Yeah, yeah. Screw it. Let's upload it. I need to upload something for the algorithm. The algorithm gets mad if I don't upload things every day, and I've been slacking already.